G'day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 10 of the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Byron, aka the Notorious, aka the Letterboxd List God, aka Better Than George Kami, aka is Israel Adesanya's best friend now. I am joined, as always, by my glorious co-hosts, Ash and Harry. Guys, we've hit double digits.
Nice.
This is a milestone. Not
Good
really.
for us.
But we have a reasonably stacked episode today. A ton of reviews. This big movies have been dropping like flies over the last week or so. So we've got reviews for Godzilla, May, December, Maestro, Wonka, The Boy and the Heron. And we'll also be going over our most anticipated movies of 2024. But first, as always, how have we been? And just kidding, Ash first.
Knew that would happen. I knew that would happen.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No, good
How I've been good. Getting closer to the holidays, so I feel like I'm just sort of not giving a lot of fucks, which has been great. Just been kind of doing my work day and then trying to just relax. So no complaints. I got a 4.5 work week coming up this next week. I'm off at noon on Friday, so that'll be nice. And then I have obviously Christmas off. So yeah, looking forward to it. And been watching a lot of good stuff. Would you like to know what I've been watching now?
Please.
Okay. Okay, so I've watched The Farewell, the A24 movie.
Great movie.
With Awkwafina. Yeah, definitely hit me pretty hard. That was very emotional. I definitely give her a lot of respect because I feel like she's only really played like some obnoxious like voice characters now, and like people kind of shit on her, but that movie she's really good. Let's see, I watched Little Women finally, the Greta Gerwig version. I had never seen it. Really enjoyed that. I gave it 5 stars. I instantly loved it. So I think it's actually probably, well, I think Lady Bird's still my favorite from her, but that one's probably the second favorite.
Hell yeah.
I watched Tokyo Godfathers, which according to Harry's video, if you're Marta, this is your favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, so side story. I was making that video and I like looked at all the lists. I'm like, these are all very generic. I'm like, who wouldn't have a generic one? And I messaged Marta. I was like, yo, super quick question. What's an obscure Christmas movie you love? Without 10 seconds, Tokyo Godfathers. I'm like, never heard of it. Awesome. Like, great.
Yeah. I feel like she might have told me about it maybe a while ago, but somebody else mentioned it like on a live I did like a year ago, and I added it to my watch list, and so I watched it finally this Christmas. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
It's from like the early 2000s. Kind of an interesting anime style, but I think you guys would both like it, so
Awesome.
definitely recommend it. It's definitely a Christmas movie, so watch it around this time. I finally watched Killers of the Flower Moon. Loved it. Amazing.
Very nice.
Very hard to watch at times, but really, really good. Obviously, Marty did it again. And then I watched. Go ahead.
Did the length affect you at all?
No, there was like a time or two where I was kind of like, this is definitely moving at a slow pace, but I felt like it was a payoff in the end. Like I feel like a story like that needs to be told in its own time and not rushed through. But no, it didn't bother me. I watched it at home though, so I can imagine in a theater it probably would have felt even faster. At home, it's like, you might pause it once to do a bathroom break or something. Yeah, and then I watched Willy Wonka, the original one with Gene Wilder yesterday before I watched Wonka. So that was my week.
Nice.
Seems like a busy week of watches.
Yeah.
Harry?
My week's been nuts. I was talking to Ash when I logged on here. I haven't been feeling well the last couple of days, and I was like writing out what I've been doing this week. I'm like, that's why I've just been doing too much. So from when we recorded last week, I went to the Foo Fighters concert that night. That was unreal, but it was like the hottest concert I've ever been to. That was 42 degrees where I was, so degrees in Celsius to Fahrenheit. That's 107. Is that big for you, Ash? 107 degrees? Yeah.
That's pretty standard for summers here, but obviously my summer's like in August, so
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah, I was in a mosh pit with that, so that was great. It was an unreal concert. Then the next day, I spent 12.5 hours in a cinema and watched all 3 Lord of the Rings extended editions, which was fucking awesome. I think I sent you guys a couple of clips just during it. It was fucking mad. Like, those movies are long, but tell you what, they're great. Like, I have a friend that, like, he came out of Killers of the Flower Moon. That's why I brought this up. He's like, that movies should not be that long. Gladly sat next to me for 12 and a half hours of Lord of the Rings without a peep. And I'm like, I get Lord of the Rings is like the best of the best. I get that. But Marty Scorsese demands it. He fucking gets it. Yeah, I saw a preview of Wonka this week. I went to the premiere last night for Poor Things. I got to see It's a Wonderful Life in cinema. I had my work Christmas party. I had a stand-up comedy gig that I did during the week, sold out, all done for the
Oh
weekend.
yeah,
That was great.
nice.
I saw Maestro, but I've also just finished this Netflix show that if you guys like, you watched Arcane, right, Ash?
Yes.
So have you watched Blue Eye Samurai?
No, but I keep seeing it advertised to me when I open Netflix.
Loved it. It's 8 episodes and it's done.
Nice.
Great, loved it.
Have you
So
seen Arcane?
no, it's next on my watch list. I've been told a lot to watch that.
Okay, eight episodes, also very,
All right,
very
well
good.
let's
So,
trade. Let's trade. All right, let's trade.
yep.
But yes, I've been watching a lot. I've been doing a lot. My body needs to rest, and I shall rest. But yeah, yesterday watching Poor Things was definitely a treat. How about you, Byron? I saw your little photo with Israel Adesanya. I looked at the photo and I'm like, Byron's either really small or Izzy's just huge. And I'm pretty sure Izzy's like 6'5", right?
Yeah, like 6'4". The what we're standing on, like the pavement is like this.
Oh, so it didn't help
So
you at
I'm
all
I'm
there.
I'm bumped a little bit. I'm 6 foot.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
thought you
I'm
were.
not sure. Like,
I thought you were
yeah,
6 foot.
I'm 6 foot. Izzy's I think is like around the 6'3", 6'4" range. By the way, one of the like the most humble people I think I've ever met. Like, dude's like the second biggest superstar in the UFC behind Connor, and like you'd never assume it. Like, he did make a joke that he was just like, "Oh, like these are my father's houses. I'm just funding it." Pretty much saying I'm fucking rich. But
Mhm.
I think yeah, yesterday was definitely the highlight of my week. Second biggest highlight, the biggest highlight of the week. I had like this bag of chips and it fucking banged. So that was actually the highlight of the week. Izzy
Well done.
takes a second place there, but no, I really enjoyed my time yesterday. They prepared like a Nigerian feast,
Oh, Nigerian food slaps, man.
and I heard that I was just like, oh fuck, and then yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I did like, oh fuck, I couldn't like sit down. I finished my food and I was just ready to die. I tried eating as much as I possibly could, but they also had a unlimited supply of alcohol. So
That sounds wonderful.
yeah,
That sounds so dangerous.
so oh yeah, oh yeah,
Especially like a bunch
but
of people that like to fight around,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, there was one time so like no one like mentioned fighting to Izzy. Obviously, he's coming off a loss and shit, but we're all standing like in the where we're all eating. And then he was standing up and he like someone walked past him and then he just started like quickly like moving his feet. I was like, oh fuck, back up. Because it looked like he was just gonna like start like shadow boxing.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
But yeah, I really enjoyed yesterday. I will say I shook his hand and I like making a statement that I squeeze everyone's hand when I shake it. Because limp handshake, you're a bitch. So I made a point of squeezing his hand, and I think he's just like, I respect that. And so the photo, that's why it's like that, because he like grabbed my hand. He's just like, I'm not letting it go. I was just like, what the fuck?
See,
like,
best
oh,
Is
friends.
that when you guys became best friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool. It reminded me of that meme, of the handshake. And this is like the one black dude and the one white dude. That
So
handshake meme.
just let you know,
That was it.
the meme. It's from the movie Predator.
Yeah,
It's a scene out of the movie
yeah,
Predator.
but the meme is more famous than Predator.
The black dude and white dude. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers. They're
Yeah,
huge.
but people recognize that meme more than the movie.
No, they don't.
That meme is insane.
No, the Predator is now a giant franchise. No.
No, fuck Predator. But regardless,
Prey's a great movie.
yesterday was fucking sick. As far as what I've been watching, I can't remember if I actually said this last week, but I watched The Killer and The Creator.
Nice.
Just taking off some 2023 releases. I also watched The Hunger Games. I gave Hunger Games and Creator 3.5. The Killer was a 4. And then I rewatched my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, that being The Hateful Eight.
Wow, that's a cool
That's
take.
your. That's
I don't know if
definitely,
that-
I feel like
yeah.
a different take.
But I liked
Yeah,
that though,
I don't
because
know.
it's underappreciated, the movie.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for snow in movies. Yeah,
He
yeah,
does
but
love
I
Wind
just
River.
love that movie.
Like, I
Um,
just imagine Byron watching a movie, it starts to snow, and he's like, "Yeah, come on."
yeah, oh yeah. There's Wind River. The first time I watched Wind River, I was just like, "Oh fuck, this whole movie's in snow. Let's fucking go."
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. It's just relaxing. I
Home
don't fucking
Alone?
know. Nah, I take it back. Nah, yeah, but Home Alone. But then I watched a movie called Anna and the Apocalypse. Have either of you seen it?
Yes.
No.
It was all I knew going into it was that it was a zombie film. I
Yeah.
did not realize this was a musical zombie comedy action horror thing.
That sounds right up my
Um,
alley. I need to add this to my list.
It's a Christmas movie too. If that helps. I thought that was fun. You know, there were parts of it that I was just like, eh. But for the majority, it was just fun. So I gave that a 3, and then I finished my week off with, what did I watch? I watched it's coming to me, a movie called Prospect, which is, for me, one of the most underrated sci-fis of the 2010s, and stars
Oh,
Pedro Pascal.
I've been told to watch this so many times. Yeah,
I saw George. I saw George log it, and I was just like, that poster looks fucking sick. I'm gonna add that to the watch list. And I watched it, and then I was just like, damn, that was fucking great. So definitely one to add to your watch list if you want to. So getting into reviews, we've got, I believe, 5 in total. We're going to start off with what I think to be the biggest release of the lot, Godzilla Minus One.
Is it,
Harry? I think so.
Like, I
really do.
I think for
Yes, above Wonka.
just going through it, I do think I rank it above everything else. But yeah, so I'm the only one that saw Godzilla Minus One, right?
Yes.
So this movie's made on $15 million. I love monster movies. I love the idea of Godzilla. I'm a big believer that the Universal Monsterverse isn't good. I don't like any of those movies. Godzilla vs. Kong, Kong Skull Island. Kong Skull Island's probably the best one, but it's still not that great. I do have a really soft spot for the Matthew Broderick film back in like 1998, 1999. I fucking love that movie. Just because it's like so weird. Like that one line where there's a giant pile of fish, like that's a lot of fish. Love that shit. But I was going into this and I hear a lot like, it's incredible. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go watch it. And this is, for me, I'm still yet to watch Shin Godzilla, which I was talking to Marta about this film, and she's like, I think Shin's still best. I'm like, cool. So I bought it, so it's in a bag next to me. So I'll be watching that next week or so. But for me right now, this is the best Godzilla movie ever made. The one thing going into monster movies that you don't really see ever is like a captivating human story, especially with the Universal Monsterverse. My main critique all the time is less human shit, more giant lizard stuff. Because that's always going to be the best bit. But in this aspect, it's amazing. So this whole world takes place just at the fall of World War II. And it's following this disgraced kamikaze pilot who is alive, so that's why he's disgraced. And this whole world about him raising this girl in a post-World War II era Tokyo. But there's also a giant lizard. Like, it's incredible. So there's this whole captivating human story on one side, but then they also engulf it with this epic scale of destruction that Godzilla is. And I said this in my review, one of the main things that I loved about this film is that the studio doesn't empathize with this fucking creature. Like what main Western studios always do with monster movies. They always want us to compare ourselves with Godzilla, want us to, or like another massive monster. They always want us to have like a redemption arc for this fucking reptile, and which is so
So
weird.
unrealistic.
It's so unrealistic. Where it's just like, oh yeah, him and a giant ape are friends now. Like, they wouldn't be. This thing's a dinosaur that breathes atomic fire. Like, that just wouldn't happen. Whilst this is very much like this is a human story using Godzilla as a point of absolute destruction, and this is made on $15 million again. So this is, I was going into this being like, I reckon the destruction elements and the Godzilla elements aren't going to look good. They're incredible. Like, they're some of the most jaw-dropping shit I've seen in the cinema this year. Some of the atomic breath scenes, unfucking real. The design of Godzilla is amazing. They've gone back to the old school black and white sort of design of him, of just like walking like kind of waddling, but just because he's so huge and he's like, it's a giant lizard, so it's kind of hard to say he's realistic, but it is realistic because he's just mowing through everything. He just walks.
I know what you mean, though, in
buildings.
comparison to like the more recent ones they made. I can't remember what actors are in those, but like I feel like he was pretty cheesy looking.
Yeah. So every actor is in those, but it's just so forgettable. It's like Brie Larson, John Goodman, Tom Hiddleston, fucking Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, their cast list is insane, but those movies are so forgettable that you just don't remember. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think it's a absolutely one to see on a big screen. The score is disgusting. They use the old school score of whenever you see Godzilla in the old black and white movies, and it hits hard. But there's just like a couple of like little twists and turns in this film as well that are just super surprising. But they brought it really back to Godzilla being terrifying, and it isn't over like 1 year. This whole story, like 1 weekend or whatever a normal Godzilla film is. This story spans years, and it's just really interesting that they've made a human story in this Godzilla movie, and I thought they hit it out of the park. So yeah, I gave it 4.5. Goes it.
Yeah, I really want to see it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it in theaters. I really hope so. Hopefully it stays another week or two. But was it advertised? Because I feel like I didn't see a singular trailer.
No, I didn't see it advertised.
I remember when the trailer. I remember the trailer initially dropping. How long ago that was, I can't really say, but I've had my eyes on it. But again, I live in New Zealand, and that shit's not releasing anywhere near me. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate. Moving on, December, the Natalie Portman starring film on, I believe, Netflix. It's a Netflix movie.
It's a Netflix movie, yeah.
Both of you saw it. Ash, I will let you start.
Go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, sure. So I watched this. Let's see. It's been about almost 2 weeks now, but I feel like I still remember everything fairly well. I really liked it. I'll just start off with that. It's definitely not like a movie where you're like happy for the characters or like necessarily like it's not an easy subject matter. It's really dark. But they put a lot of interesting comedic undertones in it to where I felt like I would think was the point, to feel uncomfortable while watching it, to where I was like, am I supposed to be laughing? Because this is like funny, but this is such a dark topic. So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's very much, I would say, like a dark comedy dramedy, maybe, if you want to call it that. But yeah, Natalie Portman is definitely incredible. I know a lot of people are talking about it, but Charles Melton definitely is a standout for sure.
He's the best part of the
definitely
film.
for me. Yeah. I think watching it, if you just kind of like absorb up like his perspective as you watch it, it's just so heartbreaking, which I think is the point. But I think overall it's a really solid film, but I know people are kind of having like mixed feelings on it. I gave it a 4.5. I'll just kind of start there. Harry, I'm curious what you think of it. We can get more into like specifics of what we liked, but that's like kind of my general thoughts. I thought it was really well done, but it is definitely not easy to watch.
Yeah, this is very much a movie that like I first off, these release dates globally need to sort themselves out, because I was very lucky that because I work in where I work, that I was able to be sent a copy of this. This is a Netflix movie, comes out in February in Australia. That's nuts to me. So that needs to be sorted out. So the actual movie, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great. You gave it 4.5. I gave it 4. So we're kind of almost on the same sort of realm. I thought Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore amazing. For me, Charles Melton stole this for me. Absolutely, exactly what you said. It's a very heartbreaking sort of story to tell. I know it's loosely based on true story, a true event that happened. Or like loosely, I don't know how loosely, but
I don't know that that's true. I've seen a lot of information about that. I've seen that the director has said, Todd Haynes, I think is his name,
Todd
has said
Haynes.
that he did not technically write this with
Okay.
that story in mind, but that people are drawing a lot of similarities. And so I think everyone's kind of coming to the conclusion that it must have some sort of like
Yeah. Okay.
pull
Sure.
from it, but there's no proof that it's like based on a true story.
Sure. Yeah. Any fictional story, there's probably going to be something similar that happened in real life, and people are going to make
Right.
connections. Okay. Sure. So this is completely fictional. But this whole idea of this kid basically like losing all of his innocence, all of it gone. And like Charles Melton plays this guy that like has a mental capacity of a 15-year-old. And I think that he absolutely hit this out of the park. I've never seen this guy before. Apparently he's in Riverdale. Is that right?
Yeah, so I watched Riverdale for the first 4 seasons. It's one of the worst shows I've ever watched in my entire life. It's so bad, but I don't know. I just like got hooked on it when I was like in my earlier 20s and I kind of tried. And he is in that show, and that's all I knew him from. So when I saw that he was in this, I was like, there's no way this guy from Riverdale is gonna be as killer as everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
But that's not really a fair thing to say because a lot of our favorite, well, most renowned actors have come from some pretty cheesy projects. So
Yeah.
it's not
Margot
really
Robbie was in
necessarily.
Neighbours.
Yeah, or she was, yeah, and she also was in like, well, I guess About Time is a great movie, so that's not a good example. But you have people like that have come from Disney. You have people that have come from like kind of sitcom style shows. Amy Adams, I think, came from like some cheesier movies. So it's not necessarily a fair thing
I
to
get you, man.
think. But I was definitely very curious how he was going to do, and yeah, I was blown away by his childlike innocence that he was able to portray. Byron, imagine like a person who's like 36 and dressed like a dad, like a 50-year-old dad, but he's got the mental capacity of like a teenager that never got to like actually be a kid, like live his life. It's very like a really weird kind of combination, but I think he portrayed it perfectly. Um,
Yeah.
so I thought that was really interesting.
He's like obviously desperately trying to be a good dad, but still not knowing
Yeah,
how to. And he's been like a dad for
yeah,
Right.
18 years. So like
exactly.
there's like scenes where this isn't. I'm just gonna tell you one scene. There's like scenes where
I know what
he
scene you're going to talk about.
the
I feel
rooftop,
like,
the
yeah,
rooftop. Yeah. So he's like him and his son are smoking pot, because they're bonding and that's what parents do. And he's just like, am I bonding or am I creating a bad memory? And I was like, whoa, that's great line. But yeah, he very much stole it. Natalie Portman's fucking intense in this. It's
hmm
very much it edges on like a black comedy at times. This movie it
yeah,
goes really ridiculously zany all of a sudden, which for the most part I bought. Some of the parts that kind of took me out of it, because it's just such a very serious topic. But
yeah. I think that what they were trying to do, I think it worked for the most part, but it
yeah,
didn't work all the time, which for me was why it was like a 4.5. I do think even outside of Charles Milton, some of the moments, like as a female at least, that I feel like we're really like able to resonate with was you can tell that like Julianne Moore has so many unhealed wounds of like her inner child. And then she's just now like continuing that on to her children. Like there's a scene where she's like, her daughter's trying on dresses and
oh,
she just
that
keeps like making her feel so bad about herself physically. And then like talking about how like, well, my mom got me a scale for Christmas. So that's what I'm going to get you guys or for graduation, like as a gift, like such an old school mindset that like you need to have a scale because you have to know how much you weigh. So just little things like that. I feel like it almost like you wanted to like feel for her, but then I feel like for me, I kept like as a viewer kept getting like conflicted, like, no, I'm not going to feel sorry for her. She's not a good person, but at the same time, she has her own wounds that she never healed from her childhood. So it's a very interesting like perspective on like multiple generations of people as well, which I thought was kind of a cool, kind of extra theme that they brought into it.
oh for sure, for sure. Yeah, her character was awesome because she you come to learn she's just very methodical. Everything that
Yeah,
is
very
said,
calculated.
very calculated. Which is I don't want to say too much so Byron can watch it, but It's very, very interesting and impressive to watch, and I think that Julianne did that perfectly. But yeah, I think Melton will get the nomination if he wins. It's
Yep.
you never really know. I think it's either right now I have to rethink it, but it's either him or Robert Downey Jr. for Oppie. But we'll see. Yeah, but all in all,
Yeah.
I thought it was a great movie. I think it's very much
Yeah, I think the score also was really good and helped kind of tie everything together. But yeah, no, I think overall his performance was very subtle, but I think for what it needed and what he brought, it was perfect.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really solid film.
That's our
Very
review.
nice. Now Harry got to see Poor Things, which, at least for me, doesn't release until next year. So I'm pretty jealous that Harry got to watch it when he did. So tell us about Poor Things, Harry.
Yeah, so I'm very, very lucky. This is a preview. It does release early. It does release in February next year for us as well. So again, sort this fucking shit out because it's fucking annoying.
So insane.
Yorgos Lanthimos films. I love. I love these fucking movies. From like The Lobster is my favorite one by far. I love The Favorite. I love The Killing of the Sacred Deer. They're incredible. They're always super weird. You walk away with them with a lot to think about and a lot to be confused by, but a lot of like wonder. And each one is just so surprisingly different, but still has that like core like central of just like kind of like a bizarre comedy. Each one of them, like the idea of The Lobster of like you find the love of your life, or if you don't, you get turned into an animal. Like great. This one's no different, and it kind of does like the Spinal Tap thing where it puts everything up to 11. I loved Poor Things. I walked out of it. I'm like, this is. I have to look at my list. I haven't ranked it yet. This might be top 5 of the year for me. I seriously just got absolutely lost in this film. I fucking loved it. I was talking to Marta about it last night, and I was like, half of the film, first half, I was like, this is really good. Very, very, very good. Not sure if I love it yet. Then the second half, like, it just completely took me. So I very much lost it. I don't really want to say exactly what it's about, but it's about, like, Emma Stone kind of plays this woman called Bella, who is kind of refinding life. And it's Emma Stone said it best in an interview that she did on this film, that she believes that it's a romantic comedy film, but it's all about Bella, her romance with life, and you very much see that, and it's awesome. And these different stages of life that she kind of like discovers and falls in love with, like it's incredible. Emma Stone for me should absolutely win for this. Like I don't think there's another actress this year that has come close to her performance. She absolutely nailed it. The direction of this movie is insanely incredible, but that's what you get with Yorgos. It should be nominated for best I think it's either whichever screenplay. I'm not sure if this is adapted or not. I haven't looked into that. This should win for costume design, for production design. This movie is gorgeous. Everything that you look at, like we'll get into Wonka in a bit. This is what I wished Wonka looked like. Everything that you look at is very like painting wise practical. Like, I'm not sure if it's all practical, but it kind of looks like just like a practical painting. Everything that you look at is like beautiful. The use of the fisheye
Isn't
lens.
she created? Like she's created by like a doctor, right? Isn't that like kind of the premise?
Well, I can kinda.
Yeah,
So,
I thought she was like a female Frankenstein. Like,
Yeah, that's the
Mitch
reason I'm
character.
asking is because I was thinking like if she's kind of created, it makes sense that the world that they create for the film would be like I
yeah,
don't know,
so
like a dream world almost.
I'll say like they mentioned this in the first I think 15 minutes, so it's not really a spoiler of what she is. So I can say it if you like, or I can not say it.
I mean, if you think it's
I
gonna
don't
spoil
fuck.
anything, you don't have to. I thought that was like in the trailer that like she was like kind of
She's created in a way.
made, but
She's created in a
okay.
way. Yeah. There's it's a bizarre idea, but once you find out what it is, you're like everything kind of makes sense. You're like, I get it. Let's continue. But yeah, I'll let you watch it actually. It's a really good reason to be honest, but it's kind of like so it's kind of created. That's all I'll say. But it very much makes sense of it all. But yeah, everything is looked at with pure wonder, which is beautiful. And like, man, it's just such a fun movie as well. It's an epic as well. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes, and it's all about her like traveling the world and everything, and it's fucking stunning. Mark Ruffalo plays incredible supporting role. He's insanely over the top, which works perfectly for this movie. But yeah, I can't stop thinking about Poor Things ever since I saw it. So I really am looking forward to seeing it again. But yeah, this is the score as well. The score is disgusting. Like, it just slaps you. So definitely go see Poor Things. Loved it.
I saw an interview where she was talking about how like her and him worked on this like idea for like 5 years, and she was a producer on it, and how she had like she had insight into like the score, and they like created it like together, like the idea of it. So I love how included she was in the process. I'm really excited to see it. I'm hoping I can see it next week, but I haven't found any like of the early releases near me. So
okay.
Fingers crossed.
Go see Poor Things. I gave it 4. Sorry. Go see Poor Things. I gave it 4.5. But I did say to our group chat, I'm like, I could see this going up to 5. Like on rewatch. I could see it. But it's like, see it with the crowd again.
Yeah, I swear I had like 4 different notifications, and they were all from Harry just being like, "Fuck, I love the Poor Things."
I fucking love Poor Things. I'm like on a tram to go home, and I'm just like, everyone around me is like getting on like after going out having drinks, and I'm there like fucking looking at Letterboxd reviews about Poor Things, and like, oh fuck you guys are losers. I'm not the loser in that scenario. It's not me.
All right. Next up, Wonka. Both you saw it. Now, I'll be honest, I kind of lost interest in this movie after its initial trailer. However, I will say I'm back to wanting to watch it, considering of how much praise it is getting. I can't recall what you two gave it, so this is all new to me. Ash?
Yeah, Ash, go first.
Yeah. I just saw it last night. So what I will say first is that I haven't stopped thinking about it. I just had so much fun. I think it just brought like the biggest joy to me. I took my niece to go see it, which also I feel like is always like going to make me a little bit more hyped about something, like especially like the enjoyment. The theater was going crazy. I mean, at the end, everyone clapped, which I haven't been to a movie where people clapped and like
adorable
forever. So yeah, I really loved it. I have like a strong like love for just the Willy Wonka like universe, I guess. Like I started in the musical when I was in high school. It was my final musical I ever started in when I left like my thespian life of being a theater kid. I was Veruca Salt, and I was very good at being very bitchy. So that was fun. But yeah, I watched the original one like in the afternoon, like while I was like working, and then I watched this one at night. So I don't even think you should compare them. To me, they're just two completely different things. Like people are going to try to compare them. I saw like a video, like one of our mutuals like was like, okay, let's settle it. Who's the best Wonka? To me, it's like, it's not about who's the best, like Gene Wilder versus Timothy. Like they're just so different.
Gene Wilder is the answer.
Yeah, but to me, I think when you see it, Byron, you'll know what I'm talking about. He plays this like whimsical, like innocent, like hopeful Willy Wonka. Yeah. And I feel like in the 1971 film, Gene Wilder is like closed off to the world. He's jaded. He's tired of all the disappointment and all of the things that people have done that have kind of like made him just like, ugh, whatever. Like, I don't care about kids. I don't care about life. I just want to do my own thing. So I feel like it's nice to see the complete opposite version of that in the character of Willy Wonka. I'm curious what you think, Harry. We haven't talked about it yet. We can get more into like the specifics. But yeah, my initial thoughts are I loved it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. And I'll say my score at the end because I'm curious what you thought.
Yeah, I liked it a little bit less. I still like, I want to say, I really liked it. I think it's really good. I'm the same with you. I finished the film. I caught up my brother, and I was like, I want to take my eldest nephew to see it. So I'll see it for a third time for sure. I saw this months ago as well. And so this is the second time I saw it. A lot better than the first time. They added a couple more things. So what I liked about it, the sense of wonder is unbelievable. The idea, the whole motivation, this whole film, the whole central idea and the message is about like how you can accomplish anything with the right motivation. And what I love is that like, sure, this whole story is about Wonka creating or opening up his first chocolate shop, but it's not about making chocolate. It's about why he makes chocolate. And
who you make it with.
yeah, and I thought that was very beautiful, and that's a great thing of what to focus on. The Timothy was good. I didn't think it was great, but like I said in my review, I'm like, this isn't really a film that you can really dissect performances about. You know, it's just all about being fun, and he does that well. He does it really well. He absolutely sells it. If I was to give standouts, Olivia Colman and Tom Davis absolutely stole it for me. Every time they were on screen together, I thought their dynamic was
Hysterical.
fucking amazing. The as I said this in my review, this is unfair to say. It is unfair. This is directed by Paul King, who did the first two, and I think he's doing the third Paddington film as well. And I think they're some of the best animated movies of all time. This is shot, edited, and produced exactly like a Paddington film. So I'm watching this being like, this is a Paddington movie, but it's just, for me, not as good as a Paddington movie. So it's like, I can't compare them, but that's just like, it was something that just kept in my mind because it looked identical to them. The music, for the most part, is great. It is great. Like, some of the incredible original songs. Scrub Scrub, best song in the fucking movie.
Interesting.
I love Scrub Scrub. But there is a lot of songs, and I feel like the quality isn't very consistent. This is very much a musical. For me, that's not a problem. Mm-hmm. I love musicals, and I understand why it wasn't marketed as such. They want to get as many asses in seats. You're going to get more asses in seats if you market it as a normal family film rather than a musical. I understand that. Byron. And I get my main critique of the film, my main problem is that they lent way too hard on CGI, and that really kind of took a lot of the magic out of the film for me. So there's like, I agree with you, we shouldn't really compare the two because they're completely two different movies, but that first room that they go in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, of that whole chocolate room, and it's like the forest and everything is practical. And you could just totally tell that everything looks so real. But then you go into this movie and it's just massive CGI scenes of like everything happening around him, which is, I get it. It does look magical, but it did just take away a bit for me. But this movie, like, it's just pure joy. Like, it's a lot of fun to watch. I think Timothy's really good. I think there's no bad people in the cast. Hugh Grant, incredible as Lofty, the Oompa Loompa. Nowhere near enough of him. There's like maybe 5 minutes total screen time of him. Nowhere near enough.
I think it was more than 5 minutes, but it definitely was not. Yeah, it was more than 5 minutes, okay. But I think it was not enough. I agree with you. Yeah. I thought he'd be in it more.
Yeah, I like the whole idea of this like chocolate cartel. Love that. It's very zany and fucking weird. I said this in my review. It really adds to the like weird world that the original created, where has this idea that chocolate rules life, and I think that really added to it. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to me because I find that because there's another Willy Wonka to compare it to, I feel like it's going to be a little bit more critiqued. Whereas with the Paddington movies, to be honest, I don't feel like the CGI is any better in the Paddington movies. And you have a CGI bear who's basically a main character. I don't find the CGI to be any better in those movies. I just think that the world that Wonka creates, I understand that complaint. That was my only complaint of this movie is the CGI. And it didn't even really bother me that much, which is why I didn't let it affect my rating. But that was the really only downside for me personally. I actually loved most of the songs, and I loved that it was a full musical, but I'm obviously a huge musical nerd, so that worked for me. One thing about the singing that I think is interesting, though, because people are kind of critiquing him as a singer and that he was kind of meh, but I actually kind of liked that.
Yeah,
I don't know that I would have liked to watch a film where it was somebody who was just like this glorious, beautiful, like singer who's like somebody who's been a singer forever. I don't think it would have brought the same tone to every like scene where there was a song if they were all just like these amazing, beautiful, like singers that had every note perfect. I don't know. I think it was kind of nice that it was almost like he was talking some lines of the song, but then he'd go back to singing, or I don't know. I like that it wasn't too flashy. Like, I think it was good that it was a little more subtle on the performances of the singing. I don't think that it needed to be some like, high-end performance as far as the quality of singers that they were. But I thought that was kind of a complaint from a lot of people. They didn't think that he was a very good singer, which I personally didn't agree with, but
I like
that's
that
just
take.
my opinion.
I like that take because it very much it adds to that message of like you can do anything if the right motivation. That you don't have to be this like fucking 10 out of 10 singer,
Yeah.
10 out of 10 performer or anything like that to be so glamorous. Like anyone could do this. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
in a
like that.
way, it made it to where when the song started, it didn't feel as abruptly like a musical normally does, where it's just like you're watching people live their life and then they just start singing out of nowhere. Like I think of like La La Land, like every singer in that movie is like has a beautiful voice. So I don't know, I feel like in this movie, it just felt like, oh, he's just not talking anymore. Now he's singing what he wants to say. But it
Yeah,
didn't necessarily feel like a traditional musical in that sense, where it's just like the song part is totally separate from what's happening in the movie. They just all felt like one long dialogue, and the dialogue just happened to be sung sometimes, which is part of, I don't know, to me, it was very refreshing. Which I love a movie when I leave and I'm like, God, that was just refreshing. It just felt fun and vibrant and like different than anything I've seen this year. Yeah, the production, and all the costumes and everything were really nice and fun. And obviously, I thought that Keegan Michael Key was
he was great.
hilarious
He
as
was great.
the captain. I personally liked Timothy Chalamet's performance. I think his body acting and his facial acting was better than just his actual like the lines and like things that he said. I think he portrayed the still quirky, still I'm a little bit wacky, but I'm an innocent version of Willy Wonka versus, Gene Wilder being more of like that, cynical, like actually like brains a little bit messed up kind of version of Willy Wonka. So I think for what it was really good. I actually gave it a 4.5, which I saw that Seth did too. And I was like, damn, that's awesome. I
Yeah, that
always
is
love when
awesome.
Seth loves a movie that I love.
I
Um,
think, I think most people have it at a 4.5 because I think Jay and Luke, I think they all have it at like a 4.5.
Yeah,
yeah, I haven't seen
Alex did as
everybody's
well. Yeah,
ratings.
yeah.
And
Ranging
Alex,
from like 3.5 to 4.5 for most people, I think.
I'll probably give it a George and a half. I'm not gonna lie. Well, that's at least what I'm expecting to give it.
Well, I gave
Maybe
it
a
a
four.
I gave it a high 3.5. I saw Sydney gave it 2.5. Didn't work for her at all. Which
Yeah,
is which
I
is
did see that.
but yeah, this is
That's
very much
funny.
ranges. I feel like the like this sounds like a critique or like a shit thing to say about a movie, but it's definitely not. This is a very unoffensive film that like you could just
Mhm.
go in there and just enjoy. Like which is it's one of pure joy and that's what it does really well.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know. To me, like I rate movies as they are individually. I don't rate them like, oh, I also gave Killers of the Flower Moon this score. So did I like I don't rate it that way. I just for what it
Yeah, no.
was, I think it was almost perfect. And so for that reason, I just loved it. But I understand the CGI complaint. I do think some practical effects would have done them a benefit. But overall, I had a great time. That scene when they I don't want to spoil anything, never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
But
message
yeah,
me in the
everyone
chat.
should
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
go see it.
yeah, nice.
And that brings us to our last review of the day. Hayao Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron. Both of you have seen it. Who wants to go first?
Byron, you need to start watching some movies, man.
I know, guys. I don't know what happened. Okay, last year I was like the best. I was the best.
Yeah, now you're
I
not.
did like 120. I did like 125 or some shit last year. And although like this year I'm still at 100. Like
Yeah.
shut the fuck up, guys. It's just, dude. I live in New Zealand, bro. I don't get to watch everything. Okay, my theater fucking sucks. So as much as I praise my country, like
It's
it's
not your fault.
movies.
We'll let it slide. You can go ahead, Harry. I think you watched it longer ago than I did.
Yeah, I've seen it twice now. I love this movie. This movie's great.
Yeah, yeah.
I anything Ghibli that I was I think I was chatting to you guys about this. Anything Ghibli, I'm always gonna love. It just has this way to just take you and like transport you to this random fucking world that like don't try and like analyze it at all. Just go along with the ride.
Hmm.
So I've seen the dubbed and the subbed version because I saw the sub version first, just because I went to the premiere and there was like two rooms, there was two theaters, and they're like, would you rather see this one or that one? And I'm like, I want the one that Miyazaki first did. So I went to the subbed, but then yeah, the cast is disgusting for the dubbed, so I went and saw it. Shout out to Robert Pattinson as the Heron. He's amazing. Is it what was the main character again now? Marito?
Mojito?
Mahito, like, he's unreal. Like he's such a his voice is unbelievable in this. But this movie has a way to just transport you. and every little character that pops up is so unique and fun and really inquisitive. Shout out to the best character in cinema this year, being the Parakeet King. That guy is incredible. He has some fucking sweet drip. Big fan of him. Big fan of him. Big fan. I love this movie. This whole idea of this boy kind of refinding like the love of his memory of his mother and like the love of life in a way, I think is really beautiful. And it's like heartbreaking, but it's like very melancholic. Is like that's all Ghibli films in a way, right? But I think this is done just so damn well. I don't think this is the best Ghibli film, but it's hard to really rank those movies. They're just always so heartwarming. So like it very much it earns its place alongside it. And if this is Miyazaki's last, which I doubt it, but if this is Miyazaki's last, I think it's a great one to end on.
Yeah, and I feel like I saw quite a few reviews where people were kind of analyzing like this being his last and kind of why the messaging in this one makes so much sense. Like if it was his last film, like as far as like even like some of the themes they touch on with like mortality and, even death, with the relationship, kind of learning about his grand or great uncle, I think they call him, grand uncle, great uncle. But yeah, I think it's definitely the most ambitious with the fantasy adventure elements. And as far as like the world that he's in, I think it's definitely the most out there out of all at least the Miyazaki films I've seen. I've only seen 4. But this one is definitely, I feel like, his most like out there. So it may not be the most like approachable for just any audience member for that reason, just because the world is a little bit more like crazy and all over the place. But I think it worked in its favor, how kind of just insane that world was that he was in. And I think the interesting like additive of the bird, I'm very curious, like the bird part of it and like maybe what that means more. I know it has to mean something. I'm not quite sure what, but I don't know. I think it's an interesting choice.
I saw him, like, this isn't a spoiler at all. I saw like you mean like the heron? Like I saw him as
just the fact that there's so many birds in general,
right?
Like so many different types and colors and just,
I saw him as like a representation of the learning of death and the acceptance of death being a real thing in life. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, and I also feel like a lot of people are afraid of birds. So I didn't know if maybe like using that animal specifically kind of brought into like that fear aspect a little bit. But yeah, I thought that it was fantastic. I gave this a 4.5 as well. Actually, I gave all of these movies a 4.5, but all for different reasons, obviously. But this one, I think the animation, I've never seen a Studio Ghibli film on the big screen. The animation was
stunning.
So good. Go ahead, Harry, if you
Byron, are you afraid of birds by any chance, Byron?
Afraid of birds?
Yeah, birds frighten you, don't they?
Fuck no. Who the fuck? No. Where'd you get it from?
Oh, I just thought maybe. Yeah, I loved Boy and the Heron as well. I gave it 4 parakeets out of 5. It could go up to 4.5. The Parakeet King. Guess who? Do you know who he's voiced by in the dubbed version?
I don't.
Fucking Batista. And it fits so fits so perfectly. You're like,
that's fantastic.
Byron, when you're watching this, it's going to get to a point where there's like all these different parakeets everywhere, and then there's just one that steps forward and you're like, yeah, I fuck with this guy hard. Like, this guy's great. Big fan. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's up there with it probably is my favorite animated film of the year. I can't think of a better one. Like it's better than.
Yeah, I think it is for me as well.
It's better than Mario. What's the other ones that came out? I think that's it.
Spider-Verse?
Or maybe.
Oh no, I have Spider-Verse. Yeah,
I do have Spider-Verse above it.
I was like, what the fuck?
I do think this wins the Oscar for best animated, because just to give it to.
Oh yeah, I reckon. Yeah, they'll rob Spider-Verse of it in the way they're getting the superhero movie it.
But I don't think Spider-Verse will be robbed.
Yeah,
I don't think Spider-Verse.
No, maybe robbed probably is not the right word, but they should win.
Yeah, but
I think.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Well done.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely worth a watch. I'm curious to watch the dubbed one and just kind of and see how that like unfolds and if it kind of has the same impact. I'm sure it will. I've heard it's a really like accurate translation, and the actor, like the voice actors, are really good. But yeah, for me, it very much like gave me Spirited Away vibes as far as like it's like obviously like a male coming of age story, but I think the world he kind of gets escaped into is it really reminded me of that. I did like Spirited Away more, but I still think this is a really solid like coming of age, learning about like it's okay to like forget things and move on and like kind of go to the next phase of your life, but still hold on to like those memories and the feelings that you got with, you know, certain people in your life. So yeah, definitely great like themes, a little bit of different coming of age themes than I feel like every other anime story has. So I think that was kind of nice. It was a little bit more unique in that sense. So yeah, definitely highly recommend.
Have you heard the story of how Robert Pattinson did his lines?
No.
So he started and finished this whole movie in 2 days. And he came into the studio and he's like, I've already done a lot of them. And he pulls up his phone voice notes and just sends them to him. And the majority of them are used in the movie, which is just like him at home just being like, Marito! Like, he's amazing. Like, he's great. It's very, very impressive what he was able to do.
Talk about another actor, Twilight to now
Boy
what
and the
he's
Heron,
accomplished.
to fucking Batman.
To Batman,
From
to
a bat to
a movie
bat.
that's going to come out next year that I'm sure we'll talk about soon.
Oh, there you go. There you
Yeah,
go, Byron.
it's weird. I remember, yeah, because Pattinson's my favorite actor, which is pretty surprising because when he was cast as Batman, I was one of those people that I was like, fuck, please, God, no. But, you know, dude's a fucking legend.
Was he
He's
your
nailed
favorite
pretty much
actor before Batman, or Batman certified it?
No. I've always been weird with like favorite actor. You know, I've never really like gone to a specific name. There's obviously ones I'd be like, oh, he's in that movie. Fuck yeah, I'll watch that. But after Batman, I was just like, yeah.
Side
like
tangent.
Batman, good time, you know, fucking bangers.
Ash, do you know Byron's favorite actress?
His favorite actress. It's not Anya Taylor-Joy, is it?
No, but Byron, what's your favorite actress?
My favorite actress at the moment is Samara Weaving.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we talked about
that's
that.
a great take, eh? That's a great take.
I love it.
Yeah, I'd go like Samara Weaving. Anya Taylor-Joy is definitely up there. I mean, you know, she's got that Robert Eggers link.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy, Samara Weaving.
I love that take. That's great.
Emily Blunt, you know.
Love Emily Blunt, yeah.
Bangers. But yeah, Samara Weaving after I rewatched Ready or Not, and then I rewatched the little part that she has in Scream 6. And then the oh my god, what the Mayhem, which please guys watch it.
I will.
Don't eat while doing so though. Yeah, that movie fucking solidified that. Moving on now, 2024 on paper is one of the most stacked years that I can remember. I know a lot of people were saying that 2023 was on paper incredibly stacked, and which it was. A lot of those movies fell out. A lot of the movies missed the mark for a lot of people. Yep. I don't see as many misses next year as there was this year, if that makes sense. You know, the odd one I can see like being a bit missed expectations. I think for the most part we are in for a tremendous year of movies. So I'm just gonna go over certain ones that I'm excited for, and then even if I already mentioned them, please tell me what you're excited for. First up, my most anticipated movie, number one, Furiosa. I speak about Anya Taylor-Joy. I cannot fucking wait for this movie. This is George Miller's playground. This universe that George Miller created. There's only one bad movie in the franchise, in my opinion, which is the third one.
Thunderdome? You don't like Thunderdome?
I don't dislike it. I just don't like it either. I think it's a 2.5.
Tina Turner, man.
I think it's definitely the weakest movie of that franchise. But coming off of Mad Max Fury Road, which I believe to be the greatest action movie of all time, and one of the 20 best movies of all time, which I understand that's a hot take. I cannot wait for this. I know George Miller did a movie, I believe last year, with Idris Elba.
3,000 Years of Longing.
That one. See, I don't think that I don't think worked out as well as he was hoping. So now he's just like, fuck it, let's go back to Mad Max. I'm expecting this movie to make a lot of money, and I just can't wait for this movie. I think it's going to be absolutely fucking awesome. Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. This is Robert Eggers' fourth feature film. This is, I believe, releasing the same day as Jordan Peele's next film.
Christmas Day.
25th of December. Oh, that's going to be an amazing double feature if they release in my theater.
Those two definitely
Nosferatu,
will. They'll both be Universal films. They definitely will.
They fucking better. But Nosferatu, before the Mad Max trailer, was my number one most anticipated movie. I think the original Nosferatu from 1922, it is the earliest film I have seen, but I think that is it's easily one of the most influential horror movies of all time. Obviously, if it releases in the 20s, it kind of has to be. It was one of the first horror movies made. But nobody has remade that movie. And I think Robert Eggers taking this on is incredibly exciting.
I have an interesting thing for a director to make a movie again 100 years later. I mean, if you think about that, that's never happened before. So I'm very curious.
The pressure's definitely on.
Do you like Bill Skarsgård, Byron?
Yes, very much so. Dune Part 2. We should have had it this year. We have to have it next year, but I think when does it release next year?
February, early, end of February. Yeah, it was going to be mid-March, but it's been moved. A few months. Yeah.
It went back and then forward and then back a little bit and then forward a week.
Yeah, because it was they swapped they've moved Fall Guy now to May, which I'm sure you'll bring up Fall Guy. But they in replace doing that, they brought June forward a few weeks.
Yeah.
Damn break.
So Dune Part 2, obviously from Denis Villeneuve. The first one being, I believe, the second best movie of this decade so far. So obviously its sequel is high up on that anticipation list. This one, I'm not too sure if it is going to release next year, but I'm going to throw it in here anyway. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse.
I doubt it.
I think if it does, it's a very late 2024 drop. But it'll probably get announced for, I don't know, mid 2025 maybe. But I thought I'd still throw it in here because just got to give it a little bit of faith. But very, very excited for that movie too. And then the last three, I'll just go through them. Joker 2, maybe the only musical that I'm fucking excited for. Upon its release, there's a lot of good musicals, but this is the first one that I know that hasn't released yet, and I'm like, I need that movie.
It's a full-blown musical.
I don't think it's a full-blown.
Yes.
I
think it was confirmed to be a full-blown musical.
I think there's just going to be musical scenes. I think it's just going to be musical scenes. I don't think it's going to be full.
I would rather
a full musical would be a little bit too ambitious for a superhero film, just personally.
Yes,
superhero. I think there's just a couple of scenes that are musical, and I think that was taken out of an editing room, basically being like, "Oh, there's musical scenes," and then that got reported as this whole movie is a musical.
I hope you're right.
Either way, I don't give a fuck. I trust Todd Phillips.
I was just curious, yeah.
And by the way, fuck that one guy on TikTok who said that Todd Phillips doesn't have a single 5 out of 5 star movie. Here's 2, motherfucker. And about to have 3. No, maybe not. Mickey 17, Gladiator 2, A Quiet Place Part 2, the new Alien film, Ballerina, the John Wick spin-off.
That's gonna be terrible.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in that one.
Unfortunately, the movie's gonna be. Oh, don't worry. That's coming from the director of Live Free and Die Hard and the Total Recall reboot. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Christ.
To be fair, the poster's fucking sick. At least the poster that they've used on here.
It's very Suicide Squad-y though. Remember the scene in Suicide Squad with Joker with the gun surrounding him? It's
They're being
identical.
negative. They're being negative.
Oh, it looks great.
I'm gonna sign for it.
Can't wait.
So yeah, and then Maxine obviously releases next year as well.
That's probably up
Ford.
there with my most anticipated Maxine.
Francis Ford fucking Coppola has a movie out next year, which I think is fucking nuts. Apparently this has been in the works since the 1980s, which is wild. I hope that lives up. And then there's some smaller movies like The Fall Guy. I believe Ethan Cohen has a movie on the way, Drive Away Dolls.
I actually saw a trailer for it when I saw Priscilla last month, and it stars Margaret Qualley. It actually looks pretty entertaining. I'll probably check it out.
Oh, definitely. If a Cohen brother is attached, like, best believe I'm there for it.
Mm-hmm.
I love
but
Margaret
there's
Qualley.
a lot of movies next year. I mean, I could keep going. I have a list of like 60. But please tell me your most anticipated movies of next year, Harry.
Thank you. I think we're going to end next year, and I think everyone's favorite entertainment film is going to be The Fall Guy. I think The Fall Guy is going to be the most entertaining film next year. I think it's going to be the best blockbuster. I think Furiosa is going to be really good. It's going to have some complaints. Everyone's going to go in there expecting Mad Max Fury Road, and it's going to be an 8 out of 10, and people are not going to like it. Which is unfair. I think it's gonna be great. Don't get me wrong, but you can't go in there like looking at the poster. I haven't watched the trailer. Looking at the poster, it looks like Fury Road, right?
Yep.
Which, to be honest, they haven't. They did that one good poster, and the rest they've released like 4 posters of this movie already. All of them have been fucking awful. But I do think the Fall Guy is set up to be the best blockbuster next year.
I had no clue about this movie. I feel really like out of the loop. The Fall Guy. Like, Ryan Gosling's my favorite actor. I had no clue about this movie.
And Emily Blunt.
Yeah, it's about him being a stuntman.
Duke, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Hannah Waddingham.
I think back. The Fall Guy is gonna be the Bullet Train of 2024.
I love Bullet Train though. I had so much fun with that movie.
That's a good.
That's what it'll be. It'll be exactly what the Fall Guy for 2024 will do. The same thing as Bullet Train was for 2022. 1, 2.
Now I'm excited. I'm glad I did not know about that movie.
Watch the trailer, Ash.
Don't watch the trailer. Don't. Apparently, my boss watched the trailer. My boss watched the trailer, and he's like, we went to lunch with Universal Pictures, and that sounds very flashy. Sorry, that's just one of my clients.
You should just brag, Gary.
They're just people, you know. And he's just like, because they were complaining that I don't watch trailers. And I'm like, guys, I'm in your movies every month. I'm the one that is like guaranteed sale. I'm going to watch it anyway. And he watched Fall Guy trailer and he's like, you guys gave away everything in this trailer. Everything.
I hate that about trailers. I was just having this conversation.
Don't watch trailers.
I honestly don't. I really don't. Unless I'm in a theater, I don't watch them.
Theater's fine.
I like to go in blind. It's the best way.
Like, I've seen the Dune 2 trailer in theaters because I didn't watch it on the fucking laptop screen because I know that Dene didn't want you to see his film first on a fucking 19-inch screen. Like, it's like, what did he had a issue with the studio when they wanted to do day-and-day release on HBO, whatever it was called back then, but HBO Max now. Was it always? It doesn't matter. And he's like, he's came out as like, don't stream it. That's like driving a speedboat in a bathtub. Like, that's great. So So Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, insanely cautious for. No Matt Reeves. I'm just not going to be hyped for it, to be honest. It comes from the director of the Maze Runner saga. So we'll see.
Apparently I'm in the Maze Runner films.
Yeah, you are. You very much are.
Yeah, it's fuck off.
One I'm curious about is the Watchers, and it's a directorial debut from M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, which I'm like, that's adorable. I was like, I'm keen for that. Kung Fu Panda 4. The music for Kung Fu Panda 4 has now been officially confirmed to be from Tenacious D. I'm in. Like, I'm 100% in. But apparently, I haven't seen the trailer, but apparently the trailer doesn't show the
You
Furious
haven't?
5.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Okay, Harry, the trailer played before my Wonka screening last night. I feel like I've seen the movie. I'll just say that.
Don't
It
watch
shows
trailers.
I was in the theater. What do you
No,
want me to
I'm,
do?
I'm
Cover
saying to
my
the
eyes?
audience. I'm saying to the audience. I'm like, don't
Yeah.
watch it.
No, it
To be fair,
literally
yeah.
everything is shown. I will not watch that movie now because I feel like I already saw it.
But what about Tenacious D? Tenacious D.
I love Tenacious D. I'll just watch Tenacious D though.
I'm
I'll just watch the movie.
Yeah,
Look
Billy
at
I'm
Crystal.
Destiny.
Hell yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of that of the trilogy itself. I'm still very intrigued because DreamWorks seems to it's going like this at the moment. It's on a good run, and you know that'll continue with Shrek 5 in 2025 maybe. Still holding my breath on that one, but yeah, the fuck. I because I watch trailers mostly because it's just like for trailer reactions on TikTok because they're easy and I don't enjoy making content anymore, or at least on TikTok. Um, but yeah, the Furious Five, where the fuck are they? If they're not in it, I kind of like don't want to watch it. They're like some of the best parts of the first movies.
Yeah.
So if they're not in it, I'm
But we'll
pretty
see.
disappointed.
That could just
They
be
fucking
one trailer. It just could just be one
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah,
apparently.
sorry, I didn't mean to take away from your going through your list, Harry, but I just wanted to say I did see the trailer and it was disappointing to see the entire of the movie in 2.5 minutes.
It's modern trailers for you. It fucking sucks. One more I'll just say, and then I'll shoot over to you, Ash. You ever seen Minari, by the way? The movie Minari, Stephen Yeun?
I want to.
It's one of
haven't yet.
A24's best.
Stunning film. Love it. The director, Lee Isaac Chung, is back, and he's making a sequel to the movie Twister. So that comes out next year. Twisters.
That is on my list.
Wow.
That is on my list.
What a bizarre fucking... I saw, because I was going through 2024 and I was like, Twisters, I'm like, awesome. I want to see a sequel to that fucking movie. That movie was hilarious. And it was like, Lee Isaac Chung is making it. I was like, Minari? I was like, what? Such a weird, bizarre thing. But yeah, that'd be up there. I think that my prediction, Best Picture is probably going to come out of a movie that, we haven't even seen yet. But I think the most entertaining film that everyone's going to resonate with next year is going to be Fall Guy. Is Gladiator 2 still due to come out next year?
I believe so, yes.
Gladiator 2 would be up there as well.
I mean, you attach Ridley Scott's name to it, I'm fucking watching it. It's like,
That's so
Well, and
aggressive.
Paul
oh yeah,
Mescal was in it,
I'm
so-
super excited. Sorry, Ridley Scott does these things to me. I'm very excited for it.
Denzel as well. Denzel's in there.
I don't think it didn't need a sequel, let's be honest. But now that it's here, I'm excited.
Please don't call it Gladiator 2. Like, surely Ridley
Yeah, I hope
wouldn't.
there's a title. I hope there's a.
I think they'll announce like a gladiator, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Something.
Yeah.
I think they will.
I don't
Gladiator,
mind. I
Covenant.
don't mind movies doing. I don't mind movies doing part 2 as the second film. I just don't like 2. I don't like them to just put the number.
But
I like
part
to
2 is
have,
fine.
no part. Yeah, putting the word part in there. I was just like, I'm okay for that. Part 2.
What a line to draw.
Like Batman. Like the Batman part 2. Like that sounds fucking sick. If
It
it was
won't-
just the Batman 2, it was just like, eh.
It won't be called Batman Part 2. I can guarantee that right now.
Yeah, but if it was, I'd be okay with it.
I get what you mean. Okay. Sorry, Ash.
Oh no, it's okay. Well, speaking of a movie that has 2 in it, Inside Out 2 is a fine title for that movie. I think I wouldn't want them to be like Inside Out with some other like extra verbiage. It would be too much.
Requiem.
It works good for animated movies.
Requiem for Anxiety. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm fine with Inside Out too, but yeah, I just saw the little teaser again last night before Wonka, and that's how you do a trailer right. You show characters we already know, a fun song from Ozzy Osbourne, and destruction and anxiety pops up, and that's it, and that's all you know. So, very much looking forward to that. That's one of my favorite animated films. Let's see, what else have you guys not talked about yet? How about Hitman from Richard Linklater?
Oh, I can't wait for that.
I'm really upset. So I'm going to Sundance Online next month, and this is premiering at Sundance. It is the big main movie title, and they're not allowing it for online screenings. So I'm really bummed.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get to watch it. Yeah,
I
it's
think,
disappointing.
I think Josiah, Copes George and Sophie, if I'm not mistaken. I think those three
They all
were
loved
lucky
it.
enough to watch it. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
a lot of 4s and like 4.5s.
Yeah, George
it's
loved it.
pretty common at film festivals, but because I'm going online, it's specifically an online screening issue
Yeah.
that they're not allowing it. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to see it in January, but hopefully it'll come out sometime next year.
Yeah.
I think I'll love it. I
Sure.
love all Richard Linklater movies, so yeah, looking forward to that. Let's see what else we got here. Challengers
Yep.
from Luca
Yeah, I'm keen for
Guadagnino.
that.
I've seen
Yep.
2 of his films and I love them both.
Is
He
that
did
he did
Bones
Bones and
and All,
All?
right?
Yeah, he did Bones and All and Call Me by
Bones
Your
and All
Name.
and Call Me by Your Name with Timothy Chalamet, which I really loved as well.
I very much liked Bones and All.
Yeah.
From last year. I think it's a fucking very unique movie.
And he did the Suspiria remake that you liked, Byron, which we and Harry still have to watch.
Yeah, he did
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I hear that after
Fuck,
Call
that
Me by
movie's
Your
good.
Name, global peach
Yeah.
sales skyrocketed. So that was good for the peach farmers out there.
I saw somebody's Wonka review that said like no peaches were harmed in the making of this movie.
that was great. That was great.
So yeah, I love Zendaya. I think she's super talented. Another, Disney turned amazing actress example. So yeah, that'll be great. Let's see. We got Civil War, Alex Garland's new movie.
Oh,
His name's on it.
I can't wait.
I didn't watch that trailer.
Don't.
I didn't watch the trailer.
Yes, Ash. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna do it.
No, but don't. Why? You're gonna see it. Why? You're already sold on it. Trailers are made to sell people on movies. If you're already sold on it,
I like trailers.
But we've just
don't do it. I actually think it's going to be interesting because Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst are both in it, and they're married. Never seen them in a movie together, so that'll be interesting. And Kaylee Spaney's in it, who played Priscilla, which I really enjoyed her in that movie. So I'm curious to see how she'll do there. Just a couple. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Byron.
Again, don't know if it's going to release next year or not, but Paddington in Peru.
Hell yeah! But I just looked up. I'm not as excited as I was going into this fucking podcast because it is directed by Dougal Wilson, who's done a bunch of music videos for Coldplay and a movie literally called Rubbish. So, yeah, this sucks. I kind of want to go cry because this could have been the greatest trilogy of all time.
Wow.
But it isn't.
Speaking of a trilogy, I'm surprised we have not mentioned Deadpool 3. I don't know. I get hesitant because I think Sean Levy does a great job at directing like Stranger Things episodes, for example. I think he obviously he executive produces a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But when he just directs a movie by himself, you get Free Guy, you get Night at the Museum, Date Night, a lot of these like kind of more mediocre movies.
Do you do Adam Project?
Yeah, Adam Project. So
that was
just
good.
not sure.
I liked that movie.
Was it?
I never watched it.
I did.
Adam Project. Did you not like it, Harry?
I thought it was very average. I thought it was better than Free Guy. I thought Free Guy was fucking awful.
I didn't think it was awful. I had fun with it, but I don't think it was
so
great.
boring. I found it
I gave
boring.
Free Guy. That was just. I think I gave Free Guy a 3 out of 5,
Me
and that was
too,
just
yeah.
because I'm like, I fucking know that reference. And then
I gave 3 stars from Mariah Carey. Popping up so many times. This song. Fantasy.
Argyle releases next
year.
year.
I saw a trailer for Argyle as well. I thought of you, Harry. I think Henry Cavill, right?
Yes, Henry Cavill and Dua Lipa.
They tried to get me.
That'd be interesting.
But I couldn't.
You weren't available.
Yeah, so they got me the next best thing that looks like me. Then
you guys look identical.
Jacob Elordi said no as well, and yeah, that's the whole thing.
Harry, is your surname? How many L's does it have?
No, the one they spelt it wrong.
Yeah, they spelled it wrong.
The normal Argyle word, like in Argyle sweaters and stuff, is 1 L.
It's spelled with 1 L.
But Argyle looks fun. I don't think it looks.
It reminds me of the way that Man from U.N.C.L.E. looked.
Yeah, and that's a good. I think that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really have that on my radar, but I mean, I'm sure I'll watch it. I remember seeing the trailer when you guys brought that up. So I'm sure it'll be enjoyable. I don't have much expectation for it though.
Yeah.
We do have a video game adaptation. Harry, I haven't played this. Borderlands.
Yeah.
Did you ever play it?
Yeah, I love Borderlands. The cast in this movie is disgusting. It's like Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black. Like it's
Oh,
huge. Let's look at the director, Eli Roth. Okay, all right. Now we're talking.
oh,
Director of
That's
Thanksgiving.
that's all those four names you just said. I can't imagine any of them going together, except
yeah.
for
I
Kevin Hart and Jack Black, because they've already been in like the
yeah.
Jumanji movies
Well,
together.
Kevin Hart being in there, I'm like,
Kate Blanchett plays this character called Lilith, who you play the game and like you hear Kate Blanchett, so you're like perfect. That's perfect casting.
shit.
Kevin, oh wait, yeah, okay. Jack Black. So there's this little companion robot that always follows you around, does like little quips. His name's Claptrap, and that's Jack Black. So I'm like, perfect. Again, that's good casting. I don't know who Kevin Hart is. I don't know. I'm a big fan.
Did you already mention A Quiet Place Day One,
No,
Byron?
no.
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
I
Oh.
believe so. Yes.
Oh, did you?
You might have just brushed over it
I
quickly,
probably called it A Quiet Place 3 because
Oh yeah, so it's Quiet Place Day
third one,
One, starring Joseph Quinn and Lupita Nyong'o.
Good on Joseph Quinn and
definitely.
Alex Wolff.
Yeah, Alex Wolff will be great. I'm excited because it's the same director as Pig,
Yes.
I haven't
so
fucking seen it, man.
I think it's going to be cool. I think the vibe is going to be very different than the John Krasinski movies. I think it'll be interesting to check
Yeah.
out.
One that was I believe was supposed to be released this year. Something's gone majorly wrong with it because I don't even think it's going to release next year. But a movie called Havoc, starring Tom Hardy. It used to. It no longer has a date on Letterboxd. It no longer says 2024.
Oh, Gareth Evans.
I think it
Well,
actually.
Tom Hardy, Forrest Whitaker, and Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah, I believe it's a Netflix original.
Olyphant?
But I
Isn't that how you
saw.
say it?
Oliphant.
Oh, whatever. I don't know.
There's no M.
Oh, I guess you're right. Sorry, I read it so fast.
That took me.
But I don't know what it's fucking Tom Hardy, you know.
Well, it's Gareth
I'm
Evans as
excited.
well. He did the Raid
Yeah.
It's
movies.
directed by the guy who
But
did the
it's
Raid
Tom
movies.
Hardy.
Yeah, no.
But that director actor duo,
Yeah, that's
that seems incredibly promising.
Yeah, I'm actually I've never heard of that, but I actually have been interested in watching the Raid movies, so I'm curious.
Oh, they're
I've
great.
seen the first one. I haven't seen the second.
Second's
The
great.
first one of the best fucking action movies ever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think probably some of the best fucking choreography ever. That movie is fucking dope. It's also the best movie of 2011
Yeah.
for me.
Nice. So we have Jordan Peele movie, obviously, like you already mentioned.
Yep.
I'm very curious what the title is going to be. I was actually just having this conversation with somebody the other day if they announced it or not. I don't think they have
Not
announced
yet.
it. It's still just untitled, right?
Yeah, so he fucking came out at the Game Awards. And I was just like, is he gonna drop his fucking movie at the Game Awards? And I was super confused, but he just teased it a little bit.
But though, did you hear what
so-
he didn't
so
just
very
tease it? So he came out with Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, he's
Who-
gonna. Yeah,
So Hideo Kojima is like a huge game developer, Ash. Like he's like the Steven Spielberg of games. Like he's very well known. He's like the Miyazaki of games. It's kind of like he's like he keeps to himself. He does these like own little. Have you heard of Metal Gear Solid before? Like there's this huge game franchise that's like beloved called Metal Gear Solid, and he made them at a place called Konami, and they completely fucked him over. So he was working for them for like 20 to 30 years, and they like fucked him over hard, and they kept him to a contract and basically wasn't allowing him to leave until like for like an extra 4 years, to a point where he wasn't allowed to travel to the Game Awards to accept best game of the year for his game. So no one buys Konami games anymore for that reason. So he left, and he instantly got payment from PlayStation to start his own studio. So it's Konami Productions. And he's made a game so far, and he's about to make a second one called OD. It's called Overdose, but people don't know that yet. Spoilers. And he came out and like announced it and showed a teaser trailer for it. And then he also brought out Jordan Peele. And they both basically said he's making a game and Peele's making a movie, and they're both going to intertwine. And it's going to be super weird.
Now that's
it's
interesting.
really,
Right?
really weird, really intriguing though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. I mean, yeah, I I'm not sure what it's going to be about, but that is interesting that they're going to be intertwined.
Yeah.
Next year, Sony are also going to have 3 bad superhero movies: Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter, and Venom 3.
Probably won't see any of them.
Madam Web's poster might be the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm just gonna pull it up for you guys just to see. Like, look at that thing. That's awful.
I'm over. I think I'm past the superhero movie phase of my life, except for like maybe the Batman.
Sony has to stop with these fucking Spider-Man spin-off movies.
They will once they stop making money. They keep making money.
I will say the best superhero news of next year is the fact that Marvel Studios has 1 fucking movie.
Take a break.
Deadpool 3, and I'm sure it's gonna make it's gonna make a bill. I think if any out of the superhero movies at least, I think the other 3 are gonna bomb horrendously. Deadpool 3 is one of the movies next year that I think is going to make $1 billion.
What did Deadpool 2 get? 785.
I can't say. What did the first one get?
I got a bill, but that was during the Infinity War craze. That was 2016.
Yeah.
That was like.
So, I think Deadpool 3 is definitely going to get a lot of people.
I think the inclusion of Wolverine as well. Yeah, and it being, as you said, it's the only Marvel movie, so there isn't going to be like
but it's not gonna be the only Marvel project, because here comes 5 fucking TV shows.
One that might interest you, Harry, that I'll be seeing at Sundance is called A Real Pain. It's Jesse Eisenberg's second film. I did not care for his first film, Leave the World Behind. It came out last year. It never actually really came out in theaters. I think it just came out on to buy it or rent it.
Wait, leave the world behind.
Or, I'm saying the wrong title. I'm so sorry.
I was like, wait, the movie.
I was like, to be honest, I didn't care for that movie either. So that movie was rough.
I'll find it. But yeah, his new one is called A Real Pain. I'm so sorry. When you finish saving the world, is what it's called.
Oh, here we go. I was so fucking confused.
Sorry, that was I've been seeing everyone log that movie, so I think the title was just on my mind. But yeah, this one's called A Real Pain, and it stars Kieran Culkin. So I'm very excited to see
he's killing it.
How it's gonna be.
He's killing it.
Yeah, apparently they had to film this movie over 5 different locations, because the premise is mismatched cousins David and Benji reunite for a tour through Poland to honor their beloved grandmother. So I think they kind of shoot it in 5 different locations all over Europe and other countries. So yeah, be curious to see that. But I will be watching that one in about a month. So we're a little over a month.
So you didn't like
getting a lot of
So you didn't like when you finished Saving the World? Because I haven't seen that yet.
I personally didn't. I just found both Julianne Moore and Finn Wolfhard's characters to be so unlikable that I just didn't care about a single thing that happened to them in that movie. It didn't do the overall Letterboxd score is 2.9. So I don't think me saying that's a hot take or anything.
Yeah.
It's based on a book. But yeah, I don't know. It was all right. I didn't hate it, but I really didn't
looking at
like
reviews, you're not alone. I can tell you that right now.
We're also getting a lot of reboots remakes, reboots, retellings, and sequels. Beetlejuice 2, Mean Girls, The Crow, which I'm personally kind of excited
I'm actually curious about The Crow. I really enjoyed The Crow.
I do like that character.
Bill Skarsgård,
by the way.
It's horrible what happened in the original one.
Big time.
By the way, if the Crow is hunting you, you're not fucked, but you're gonna have a very hard time getting away from it.
Yeah. Mean Girls. I honestly don't think I'll watch it.
I'm not.
The Crow, directed by Rupert Sanders, who also did the reboot of Ghost in the Shell, which was okay. Snow White and the Huntsman, and Believe, which is a short film of Halo, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Of course, he'd
we'll
that.
see. Bill Skarsgård's the only person I even recognize on that list of actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smile 2 also has a sequel. Why?
That's right.
I don't fucking know.
I'm keen for Smile. Well, what do you mean why? That first movie was great. That was good fun.
Yeah, I still don't know why it would get a sequel.
Because it made a lot of money.
Yeah, but
welcome to the business.
Godzilla X Kong. They're fun. They're
Why
fun
does
movies,
that
in my
need a
opinion.
sequel? Why does that need a sequel, Byron?
Didn't say it did.
That movie looks fucking bad.
I don't know if you guys care about it, but Dan Levy's directorial debut, Good Grief, comes out on Netflix on January 5th. So I'll be watching that.
That's a great title.
Just because I love him. So
The Garfield movie starring Chris Pratt.
no.
Man, he's in everything. Good on him.
I love the fucking memes. It's just like Chris Pratt getting voices, just random like cartoon characters. It's just like he can't keep getting away with this. Just using his fucking voice. It's just Chris Pratt.
Can't really picture it. I probably won't watch it.
Watch the trailer. Have you seen the trailer?
No.
Watch the trailer. If you're not interested in the movie, watch the trailer.
I might have to. Yeah, I don't know. I think we've covered all the good ones. You mentioned Mickey 17, which I'm definitely excited for, and then obviously Furiosa.
Karate Kid.
Mm.
Scream 7.
That's not coming out next year. It hasn't even got a cast. It's not coming out next year. Should we go through just like what each of our most anticipated is, and then to finish it off?
Absolutely.
Like just one movie, you mean?
Yeah, if you had to pick one, if you only could see one movie next year, what would it be? Like, we know what yours is, Byron. You said at the top, Furiosa. Nice. Ash, do you have one that pops out to you?
Probably Hitman. Linklater's one of my favorite directors. Probably top 3. So.
I love that. Mine is probably Madam Web. I think what Sydney Sweeney is doing, I think people need to be watching. I think probably it's between two, Fall Guy and Mickey 17, but I'll probably go Mickey 17. I'm just curious to see what happens for Bong Joon-ho after Parasite. If he can
go Robert Pattinson. Yeah. Bro, Robert Pattinson. Bro, he has Mickey 17 releasing 2024 and then fucking dropping the Batman Part 2 in 2025.
He's killing it. And Boy in the Heron.
God, I can't wait.
Boy in the Heron.
He had the Boy in the Heron this year.
Yeah.
God damn it. What a guy. What a fucking guy.
Hey, man. You want to close us off?
Oh, yeah, sweet as. All right, that concludes episode 10 of the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter/X, but I'm going to call it Twitter, TikTok, Apple. I believe that's it. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify, like and subscribe to the YouTube, and we will see you next week for episode 11.